Well, building on what Tyler's saying, we've talked a lot throughout the Old Testament year about the covenantal logic that animates and structures the scriptures. So there's many ways of understanding Isaiah, understanding the covenants, the Abrahamic covenant, where God promises his enduring love to Abraham and his children, and the Sinai covenant, where God invited Moses and the people out in the wilderness and gave them instructions for how to show covenantal loyalty. So if you understand those two core covenants, we can see what happens when people do not live what God expects, or they do. And as Tyler points out, the covenantal logic is, if you show infidelity to God again and again and again, there are eventually a whole series of consequences. And we might think, well, God is just mean, angry, capricious, he's full of justice. And in some ways, God is simply a law abider. There is a law of covenant, and he is required by the covenant that when people are not faithful, they have to suffer the consequences. And yet, because of his enduring covenant to Abraham and his posterity that we all get access to, and everybody in the world can have access to, God has chosen to continue to offer mercy. So this viewpoint of the covenantal logic, I think, is very helpful when you read the scriptures, particularly Isaiah, and instead of seeing God as this angry God, we can see God as a covenantal God, that he is acting within covenantal relationships.